Say hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Love you.
Love you.
Grace, you want to say hi, Mommy?
Hi, Mommy.
Come in. Come sit close. There we go. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Love you.
Love you. Yeah, okay, wait,
Amy.
Yeah, food.
Well, now I'm cold because you got the window open.
La 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 la. Mm.
Goodness. I get teary-eyed every single time. It's so much fun making those. Like, I'm overwhelmed with joy and emotions, as I always say. Every time. I know now why I was inspired to just constantly video and snap pictures of you guys. It was just... It's fantastic. I mean, kinda, but anyway. Putting those together, I cut it short. But the video of me underwater with the GoPro coming at you, Grace. You get up on top. Not gonna get me. Oh. Anyway, it was adorable. The best of times. Thank you. Hey, girls. Double-Handed Wave. September 24th, 2025. I always gotta calm down after those. I have to start out with an apology. And I'm sorry. Because I was rewatching the previous podcast and thinking about the one prior to that. And somebody actually said something to me too. But I've been a little bit of a downer. And I'm sorry. The events going on in the world right now are a downer. And it that kind of stuff is contagious. When you see this stuff of people trying to silence other people, people trying to kill other people actually killing other people, it's brutal and it takes a toll on all of us. Some people don't realize that kind of drags you down, but it 100% drags you down. Oh my goodness. Oh, this shirt. I got a haircut like a week ago. And guess what I did? I left this shirt and I can feel all that little pricklies. But yeah, this thing of silencing other people and some people saying, no, you can't speak. You can't listen to this person. You only listen to us. I've said it before, but when people try to silence other people, the people doing the silencing are not doing anything good. Yeah, I want you guys to be able to talk to everyone and to listen to everyone. Everybody should be able to listen to everybody. The moment somebody says, no, you can't listen to that person, we're going to censor that person because you're not smart enough to understand that they are wrong. Think about that for a second. I'm going to silence somebody because I think you are not smart enough to understand what they're saying is right or wrong. Well, I'm trying to control the situation. Some might even say domestically violent. Excuse me. And so anyway, I got started just feeling really down after Charlie Kirk was killed. And it really weighed on me. And I've noticed that's kind of a sentiment with a lot of people who saw that happen. They weren't religious. They weren't even fans of Charlie Kirk. And all of a sudden, they're feeling this overwhelming emotion. So I'm going to keep it positive today. Positive. Yeah. It's still tough. It's really tough. It's just, anyway, I'm going to leave that be. But yeah, sorry for being a downer. I'm human. What are you going to do? And yeah, the thing with Alicia and her husband, also a super downer. But on the what is it? Yeah, no. Muffin, I got your pins. So I went there because Alicia had showed me the pins you make, and I had to go back to get your pins. So I got 3 pins: purple or pink, purple, and yellow, of course. But that was a super downer because I thought, like, okay, good, we're burying the hatchet, we're letting this go, and then nope. But I have my suspicions about that. Just my suspicions. I'll tell you this though. You know, there are people in this world who want to be seen as heroes. They have a desire to be seen as the righteous person, and it's pretty easy to differentiate the real ones versus the fake ones, the people who are just seeking that appearance as a hero. The way you can tell, sorry, I got a frog in my throat. The way you can tell is a real hero, when the situation is over, will check on everybody, not just particular people. Here's what I mean by that. Like in combat, you know, war is an unfortunate reality of life. But in combat, the two sides fight, and there are some sides that will not assist the other side after the battle, and then there are some sides, like the United States military, you are obligated to go and assist any of the enemy combatants who are still alive and need medical attention. And then you have to treat them. That's heroic. When somebody, after the situation is over, sides with one person and continuously tries to persecute the aggressor, that's a person who's virtue signaling. They want to be seen as a hero. The problem with those people is they will absolutely throw you under the bus the moment it suits them. And I'm fairly certain that just happened, because I've never done anything to Alicia's husband, ever. And he was the one that gave me the grief. He has a desire to be seen as a hero. And it really just comes down to where people get their validation from. Where do you get your validation as a human being? And if you get it from within, and if you get it from God, you don't need to side with anybody to get their validation. See, I'm helping a victim. I'm a good person, everybody. See, I'm a good person. Everybody look at me. I'm siding with the victim. Screw that person over there. No, you're kind of a bitch. You're just looking to get recognition and get validation. Get your validation from within. And you can actually do beneficial things in the world. So, I am on 3 days off out of 17. I'm working like crazy. So I'm going to go to work tomorrow. And then I started another long rotation. Speaking of that, I returned. I've been doing this thing of the universe has been sending me down this memory lane path, kind of a thing. Went to San Diego, went to Columbus, ended up going to Japan a while back, and it's really cool, but a little bit painful. In 2005 and 2006, when Mom was in medical school in Des Moines, I was working in Milwaukee. And during that time, I wasn't making much money. Mom wasn't making much money. Mom needed help with the rent in Des Moines. So I lived in my car and in this... Well, I'll show you. Because I returned to Milwaukee for the first time. I apologize. Something in my throat. I returned to Milwaukee for the first time in 20 years. Let's see if I can find this. I took a couple pictures in a video. Oh, come on. There we go. So this, my finger's in the picture. I just now noticed that. This is a place called Signature Aviation. And what it is when the private jets pull in, this is where the people get in and out. It's referred to as an FBO, a fixed base operator, but that doesn't matter. But anyway, I didn't have enough money for an apartment, so I lived in this building and over here in this hangar for a little more than a year. I sat in that room so often. There was a coffee machine there, and used to watch the TV right there in those chairs. Different chairs, I hope, 20 years later. But where I slept was in this little room here. And I felt bad because there's this little room with two recliners. There's one right there, and there's one around the corner here that you can't see. And there was somebody in the chair. And I opened that door. Probably a pilot doing the exact same thing I was doing. But that was my bedroom for a year and a half. That's where I slept. Wondering. It wasn't fun. It was a rough time, but character building. And I was happy to do it. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make, but returned to that room 20 years later, and one heck of an experience. So I'm in there like trying to not make noise. He grunts. I was like, ugh. Oh, the fisheye lens is never flattering. Good God. So anyway, yeah, returned to Milwaukee.
Isn't Milwaukee an Indian name? Yes, Pete, it is. Actually, it's pronounced Miliwake, which is Algonquin for the good land.
It's good to like go back and see these places. It's kind of cathartic. Makes me feel like I wasn't all that bad with the sacrifices I made. And I'm content with that. Don't get me wrong, though. The mistakes I've made, for some reason, stick out a lot more. Well, I know why, not for some reason, but the mistakes stick out a lot more than the sacrifices. It's kind of a standard thing. It's that whole thing of downers tend to stick out more than the positives. It's just another unfortunate reality of life. Those things just stick out in our brains. It's what keeps you up at night. You're sitting there going, my God, what did I do in third grade? Oh my God, I did that. That was stupid. And then in seventh grade, I did this. It just haunts you. Do stupid crap. But learn from your mistakes and be at peace with it. Which, it's funny I mentioned that because I got into a discussion with a co-pilot of mine. We were talking about how people at church will say, peace be with you, and may the peace of Christ be with you, and all that. And he was talking about how he was referring to Catholics specifically. He said, it doesn't seem like a lot of Catholics are at peace. And I asked him, well, okay, what's your definition of peace? Because that's important. You have to understand what peace is. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people equate peace and happiness. They're not the same, not even close. Two completely different things. You can be happy and to be at peace. But you can also be really, really angry and be at peace. Doesn't make sense, right? Well, it is. It does if you think about it from what the reality of peace is. And peace is very simple. Peace is not having a desire to hurt anyone. That's it. The greatest example we have of that is when Jesus was on the cross. He wasn't, goodness gracious, he wasn't happy. He wasn't joyful. He wasn't in a good mood when he was up there being persecuted the way he was. But he was at peace because Jesus kind of had the ability to just hop right down from that cross and teach everybody a pretty serious lesson. He didn't. He was at peace and he didn't hurt anybody, and he asked for forgiveness for those people. That's being at peace. You can be angry as hell. I've been there. I get angry as all hell sometimes. It happens. Anger is a natural human reaction, not an emotion, reaction. Anger is not an emotion. Anger is a reaction to an unidentified emotion. Very important to remember that. If you don't know what you're feeling, you become angry. Whether it be anxiety, frustration, even happiness. I've brought this up before. You look at a football fan when he's just watched his team score a touchdown, and it looks like they're angry because they're overwhelmed with joy and they just haven't identified like how to properly handle the joy. With regard to co-pilots, I'm getting some good segues here. With regard to co-pilots, I told you about the conundrum that I was in as far as a person I was training who was a co-pilot, or claimed to have been a co-pilot, and was going to be upgrading, as we call it, to captain. But something was off. Something wasn't right? I told you about that. he didn't have some of the most basic skills and knowledge about flying airplanes, and something was off. And the only conclusion I could come to was that he had falsified his records, which you can do. It's up to each pilot to maintain their records. They get checked every once in a while, but it's a very kind of a cursory check. They brush over it, and they assume that people are being honest, because 99% of the pilots are. Because the repercussions of faking it and falsifying that stuff are serious. I told you, you can go to jail for that. Well, after thinking about it for a while and praying on it, I went to my boss and my boss's boss with what I had seen. The end of the story is he was removed from flying and is now under investigation. And I had to write this big, long report of what I had seen, to include the mental issues that I saw, because there were some, I don't want to get into that. There were some pretty serious mental issues that I saw. So it weighs on me, but I tell myself, you did the right thing, or I did the right thing, because I probably saved some people's lives. I had to intervene 2 separate times in situations where if I had not intervened, we would have likely crashed, which is wild. I've never been in that sort of situation before. And, yeah. Why he did it, I think he was looking for that validation. I'm a pilot. Everybody, he wants the validation. And he had talked about his relationship with his parents and how he wanted to impress them by being a pilot. Anyway, so turns out, looks like I was right. And it's a super bummer that happened to him. I wish him the best. I don't know that he'll ever fly again. But, yeah. Big bummer. So, hope he finds peace. Because he was not. He wanted... Anyway, all right, enough of that. So, and all the while, I found out that, I have my nicotine pouches. Where are they here? I love my Zyn pouches. I love them. Found out I have to quit these, which is I got caffeine and nicotine that I enjoy. But apparently, too much nicotine messes with your liver. I didn't know that. Wish Mom would have told me that at some point. But too much nicotine raises your enzymes in your liver and starts causing problems. So I went and had my blood work done a couple weeks ago, got the results, and my doctor said to me, hey, you're going to want to lay off the nicotine. How much are you using? I'm using a lot. Okay, lay off of it. But the interesting thing was, they're sitting right here and I'm not using them. I just went, okay, can't use those anymore. And it's that same thing that I tell people all the time, with regard to motivation to do things or to not do things, like alcoholics who can't quit. My take on that is they don't love anything or anyone more than they love themselves. For me, my doctor says to me, hey, you got to quit that because your liver is having it rough. Okay. In my head, I go, I have to be there for Muffin and Monkey when the time comes. I can't go having liver problems. I quit. Done. It's just that easy because I put you guys in front of me. But But I'm not giving up on caffeine, damn it. I'll put up a fight on that one. Oh, so that's what's been going on. Trip down memory lane, dealing with interesting people, having the ability to practice my patience, and all the while having to give up my vices. Oh well. Oh, what else is going on? Not too much. Working a lot, which I'm super grateful for. Those few years of just sitting around and doing nothing, that'll kill you. Having that time where your brain plays tricks on you and focuses on the negative things, that's what happens. That old saying of the cliche that idle hands are the devil's workshop. Goodness gracious, that is 100% true. And find something to do. And on top of that, science has shown this, that somebody who is grateful for something doesn't have the ability to be resentful or harbor, anger. When you're grateful for things, your emotion, I'm trying to give a definition without using the word gratitude, but you just feel better as a person because you're focusing on the positives. You're focusing other than, and my liver's fine, by the way. There were just I think the upper limit was 40, and I was at 50 with regard to these enzymes. So I'm not dying yet, but I'm in great health, got a great job, working a ton, staying busy, super grateful. Are there things that are not ideal? Yeah, there really are. I have always chapped lips, but I'm grateful for chapstick. I could go, damn it with these lips. I hate my lips. I have chapstick. Grateful for it. See the little tiny things. I'm telling you. Oh. Yeah. So, anyway. That's that. Where are we at? We're already 28 minutes in. I've been rambling for that long. Good Lord. Let's check the old YouTube feed. What do you say? Let's see what YouTube has to offer. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Winter training is tough.
Blue Angels.
You were talking doing 15 flights a week, about 100
And Amanda.
training sortie.
Amanda Lee. Big fan. Huge fan. Yeah. First, I've talked about this before. First female pilot in the jets. There was a female pilot years ago who flew Fat Albert, the big transport plane. The jet flying. Not in any way taking away from the Fat Albert pilots or the transport pilots, but it's not to the intensity that the jets are. And so
In the span of about 4 months, which is absolutely insane in the FAT community. So we are just flying.
I always wanted to take you guys to go see her. She's gone now. She's
obviously fly with a stick spring.
That reminds me. Let's see if I can pull this up. I always wanted to take you to go see her because let's see here. How fast am I? How fast is Dad? Never that fast. Yeah, there we go. Ha ha! Muffin. You hopping on my computer and putting on the Blue Angel helmet and flying the flight simulator. That was an absolute treat. Pizza. You'd go around flying with the helmet on, putting your grubby little mitts on the visor. That was adorable. But yeah, really wish I could have taken you to see her. To see her? Because there's
We start at
Amanda
20
doing
pounds,
her
we
thing.
end at 40 pounds. So on top of learning how to fly, your body is
it's not easy.
physically beaten
Yeah.
down, trying to gain the strength in your right
It
arm
is
to
a
fly.
very
And then
physical
also on top
thing.
Of that, we don't fly with a G suit, so trying to relearn how to G strain appropriately.
And she crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. And, oops.
Winter training is tough.
And, mark my words. Mark my words. Amanda is going to be the first female flight leader of the Blue Angels. Has not happened yet, but I'll bet you anything. In a couple years, you have to be a certain rank to be the flight leader. And I'm betting that she will be the first female flight lead of the Blue Angels. We'll see how good that is.
We need to give
No, Tina Frimmel.
with the best melancholy Christmas ballad.
Absolutely
I've
love her to
never
death.
In like 5 years.
An upper.
No, I can speak on this because
Tina Frimmel.
I have Christmas ballads. Okay, I love that.
That the
I'm not
energy,
talking about like sad Christmas, grown up Christmas.
the energy she has within her, and the light she has within her, despite having multiple sclerosis. I think it's MS or cerebral palsy. Excuse me. Yeah, she just crushes it with regard to just like powering through and letting her light shine. I absolutely.
Bliss or God forbid Christmas shoes. I'm not talking about like death or war or like cheap shots like that. I'm talking about just songs that are just made for people who are kinda in a rut, you know? Joni Mitchell put like this in the 1970s.
Yeah. Talking about music that is made for people in a rut. It's another kind of upper. You might hear some songs that seem like downers. But it's good for us to understand, hey, other people have gone through this too. In fact, there are songs written about whatever situation you're in. You don't want to get caught in that. But to know that other people have gone through the same crap that you've gone through is a very uplifting feeling.
Texas man is fighting for his life in the hospital after he stole a package off of a woman's front porch, only to go back to his car, open it up, and see that it was full of black widow spiders. This woman was tired of this man coming by and stealing all of her packages before she could get home from work, so she made a little package that was just for him. When he popped that package open in his car, a bunch of spiders came flying out, and they bit him all over his face, and then he started swelling up and getting nauseous, so he had to go to the ER, and then he called the police and would like to file assault charges against her for setting up that booby trap.
Assault?
Police contact the woman, and they're like, did you put a decoy package full?
I thought black widows kill you. No? And multiple black widows? That just gave me, I just had a heart palpitation. My God. Really?
Black widow spiders have on your front porch, and she's like, oh no, those black widows are my pets. Were you able to find them? I saw that they were missing, and I just
Okay, hold
wanted
on.
to-"
So this woman gathered black widows and put them in a box and then set them out for a porch fire? I mean, that's I'm kind of impressed. But she could have killed the guy. Really? I don't know if I believe
in a
this.
box because they like to play in there while I'm at work. And the police were like, oh, this guy, he stole the box, and then they bit his face and he whacked a couple of them, so they're no longer with us. And the woman's like, he killed my pets. That's completely unwarranted. I'd like to file charges against him for that.
I'm slightly disturbed but slightly impressed. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Not all heroes wear capes.
ooh. Oh. Oh, the railing's in the way. Yeah. So that ride's going round and round, and this railing has gotten in the way, and it's whacking it, which could be catastrophic. Okay. They're all pulling it back. It's all men. Well, good for you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's another uplifting thing, speaking of uppers. Because there is this kind of like war on men. Masculinity, they call masculinity toxic now. And fathers are being removed from families. And this hatred of men has got to stop. And that's why Charlie Kirk was killed. Because he was saying, whatever. People didn't like what he was saying about women versus men and who men are and who women are. And there's these videos just kind of praising men. It's a nice little uplifting thing. Thank you to whoever posted that. Wrong answer. No daddy pardons here.
And I thought I told you that I'm playing my game.
Ooh, wrong answer. Oh!
So when you get done playing your game, clean your room.
Wait a minute.
There's a dad that ain't giving out no pardons right there. Whoa!
Well, hold on. Again, I have my suspicions. Why was the camera on? Unless somebody was trying to catch him doing domestic violence or something like that. Hold on. I thought I told you to clean your room.
I thought I told you to clean your room.
And I thought I told you that I'm playing my game.
Ooh, wrong answer. Oh!
Excessive.
When you get done playing your game, clean your room.
Excessive, and I speak from experience. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Not the way to handle things. I see what he's doing. You got to knock that brattiness out of kids immediately. It sets them up for failure, and that's what dads are trying to do. That's the job. They're the drill instructors. And this mindset of, well, we have to be kind, gentle, and tolerant of children and their misbehavior. No, you address it immediately, and you address it very firmly. Hitting TVs, okay, I've done that. I'm guilty of it. Sorry, I am. So excessive, I see where he's coming from, but not the best way to handle that.
There's a dad that ain't giving out no pardons right there. Whoa!
Yeah.
I'm a bit shocked to be stood here actually because I still feel, and I've written a little speech.
One of my also favorite people, I have a lot of favorite people. Tom Hardy, Bane from Batman. Let's see how fast I am on this. Pictures, Halloween. Yeah. Damn, I'm good. Where is it? There. Halloween 2018, I believe it was, 2019. But, Bane. Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
That guy. It's Tom Hardy. Super good human being, and I like him a lot.
Shocked to be stood here actually because I still feel
failure is your best teacher. That is 100% true.
I'm terrible at speaking publicly. And if you don't know quite what it is that you want to achieve, that if you just keep cracking on towards it anyway, that, you know, if you do what you love doing, this is what my dad said to me. He said, if you do what you love doing and you do it well, then everything should sort of fall into place. Another thing that my dad said was, Your job, Tom, is to observe and reflect, right? And anything that gets in the way of the telescope has to go, including yourself. And I'll put myself right out there for the risk of it, and I will fail, and it's okay to fail. In fact, you learn more from failing and humiliation in my game than any other that I know. And actually, that seems to be quite similar across the board in most professions for the people that I've met. So it's good to fail, it's not embarrassing, and humiliation is your friend.
I love what he's saying. Absolutely love it. And with the gist of it, I could not possibly agree more. However, I have one twist on that, one variation. My perception is that the only failure is giving up. That's the only failure. Or never trying, which is giving up. When you don't try or you don't succeed and you give up, that's failure. Not succeeding is a reality. That's going to happen, and it's going to happen a lot more than you're going to succeed. That's the point. The point is to keep going. You guys know the video. Find an excuse to win.
Whatever you have to do, just find an excuse to win. Keep going.
So many people not only don't try, but then they see people who don't try and coddle them and then give them a participation trophy. You don't want to do that, because what it is the dopamine that we get from succeeding, from actual success, you're diminishing that that reward. But keep trying, keep going.
So I was telling a client that this year, my son dropped a kid for calling his Vietnamese friend racial slurs. He told him to quit being a fucking racist, and the kid put his hands on him, and my son gave him something to think about on the way to the nurse. Now I picked my kid up from school and took him for ice cream. And my client says, stop telling your kids if someone hits them, hit them back.
Oh, God, no. You're part of the... Oh, God, no. If you're actually... I don't want to...
So I was telling a client...
Gosh darn it! My button clicking is terrible.
Very, very stupid.
I am very, very stupid. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, I told you guys this a long time ago. Try your best not to resort to violence. But unfortunately, sometimes violence is the answer. If you're being attacked and you have no way out, you have no choice. You have to defend yourself. That's like, it's terrible that I have to say that. But, and I'm not talking about words. I'm talking about you are being actually physically attacked. If you're terribly stupid, the biggest problem with stupid people. Okay. Let's get into this one.
If you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid?
Yeah.
You'd have to be relatively intelligent to
This is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning.
Dunning,
who's a friend of mine, I've got to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to...
And this is how I found out that pilot was not who he said he was. Because he, when I debriefed him, would say he did remarkably well, despite almost crashing. He lacked the skills to realize that he almost crashed. And he said, well, I did very, very well.
I've had sociopaths above me and working for me before. The way that I've dealt with it is to send messages through people to that person as much as I possibly could. Everything was written on email. If
Oh,
you have
yeah,
a
document.
conversation with me.
100% document. Yeah, when you're dealing with these people, document. 4 giant folders now of documentation, because dealing with attorneys, CLRs, PREs, and people who've gotten into the family law system to destroy families. And I have to just document what they're doing.
I would write them a follow-up email later of everything that we talked about. So they know everything they say.
100%.
Even if it was...
The moment somebody shows signs of sociopathy or psychopathy, start documenting things. Because I don't even want to watch
You
this.
can't break a person who's not afraid to eat alone, who's not afraid to be rejected, who's not afraid to lose friends in the process. Because that person, they've already faced the silence.
Yeah.
They've already sat with loneliness. They've already learned how to clap for...
Yeah, I eat alone fairly regularly. And people like worry about me. You eat alone? Fine with it. I don't mind eating alone. And I'm going to circle right back around to where people get their validation from. If you get your validation from your friends, or from anything other than yourself and from God, you can be broken very, very easily. As soon as those friends and family or whoever it is, your coworkers, bail on you and betray you, you become broken. But if you get your validation from within and you know who you are as a person, and you know that you're loved, and you know that you're validated internally, you don't get it from external factors, you get it from within. Eating alone is no big deal. And you can't be broken. That's one of the things that people really get frustrated with me about, is they try and break me. And it's like, okay, go ahead, try. You're not going to be able to. I have no problem being by myself. The irony is that people gravitate towards me because I have no problem being with myself or by myself. Yeah, once you get to that point, go ahead and be alone. David Goggins, who I can't pull it up right now, but one of my biggest influences, David Goggins, talks about how he isolated himself and was like, nope, I'm shutting off the world. And he validated himself from the inside and through God.
Themselves. You can't bring down someone who stopped waiting for validation.
Thank you.
Their into power, turn their wounds into wisdom. That kind of person, they're held up by something stronger than...
You prayed and believed.
Ask yourself, am I afraid of being alone? And not that you have a desire to be with other people. Yeah, like I desire to be with other people. It's nice. I got no problem with that either. But I'm not afraid of being alone. Not at all. And if you fear being alone and you need to reach out to people to oh God, tell me I'm loved. Tell me, please. Yeah, you should feel that from your parents initially, but it should come from within. All right, one more.
Your whole life, never done anything wrong, and here you are. You're the nicest person I know. I am the meanest. You have dementia. My life is perfect. Explain that to me.
Sometimes the devil allows people to live a life in trouble because he doesn't want them turning to God. Your sin is like a jail cell accepted. So nice and comfy, and there doesn't seem to be any need to leave.
Oh, this one hits hard.
The door's wide open, and one day, time runs out, the cell door slams shut, and suddenly, it's too late.
Yeah, that one hits hard. Okay, that one's hitting pretty hard, so I'm going to wrap it up with that. But yeah, just because your life is going good doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. The devil will leave you alone if you're working for him. Not going to bother you one bit. All right, we'll wrap it up with that. You guys are validated. Well, I can't say you're validated, but know that you have validated me and that I love you with all of my heart, and I can do things like give up Zins because I love you guys that much. You guys have done that much for me. You bring me that much joy. So, anyway, you go out, and now you do the same thing. Love one another the same way I love you guys, okay? I will check in with you when I get back from work. Love you.
6 times 3. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Hurry up. 18. Oh!
Ring the bell 3 times, put your helmet on the ground, you're done.
2 minutes! You don't make it, you do it again! Have you ever tested this hard ever in your life? Never. Winning here is a conscious decision. Make up your mind whether you want to pass or choose to fail.
All right, now, gentlemen, I'm gonna introduce y'all to something called not being able to breathe.
Andrew, come back. Come back to the light. Take all this shaking and all this cold, harness it, turn it into aggression. You just prove to your bodies, through your mind, that you can push yourself further than you thought possible. Go get wet! Run! I met my limit, so that's it. You sure you want to be here? Yes, I do. Are you absolutely sure? I'm positive. Whatever you have to do, just find an excuse to win. Keep going. It pays to be a winner.
I like having my buddies that I can depend on, and I would like for them to be able to depend on me.
You guys are our band of brothers.